Welcome to Thursday, March 5th.
This situation was brought under control quickly and safely.
2 teens arrested at a high school in Balgony. What we know so far.
They'll be able to get back into their community and, try and start over again.
The first new build house for Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation was shipped to Denair Beach yesterday.
It was very surreal and really overwhelming.
Power of the internet reuniting 2 long-lost friends. We got the story. Stay with us. Saskatchewan, your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Thursday.
And I'm not to blame for what you're seeing out there on the roads this morning. Here's a look at the highway hotline. The road in red, that's Trans-Canada. That's road closed between Gull Lake and Swift Current. And a lot of travel not recommended, Kayleen. This is all you.
Hey, it's not all me. Again, I don't control it. But I did warn people about it. So you should be aware that that freezing rain was coming. It's still coming down out there in the south.
Fortunately, that big house made it all the way to west of Strasbourg. So it's not on the road to contend with as well. Let's get on to your news for this part of the hour. Saskatchewan NDP says their introduction of a bill to lower your SaskPower bill and SGI insurance costs was blocked by the government Wednesday. Sierra D'Souza says reaction from both sides.
SGI and SaskPower recently announced rates are going up, and in response, the Saskatchewan NDP wants to propose a piece of legislation called Lower Power Bills and Car Insurance Act. But NDP MLA Alina Young says the public will never know how it could help them because the government won't allow it to be introduced in the legislature.
The Sask Party government is blocking the introduction of a bill that we think is important and that we believe will speak to the very real affordability concerns being faced by the people of Saskatchewan.
The introduction of the bill follows SaskPower increasing its rate by 3.9%, along with SGI hiking its rate to 3.75% for 2026 and 2027. The NDP stating the rise will further impact people's cost of living.
They are diminishing the lived experience of all of these folks, whether it's $40 to $100 more on car insurance this year and then $40 to $100 more on car insurance next year.
Saskatchewan's minister responsible for SaskPower and SGI defends the rate changes, stating the reason for the hike was to support SGI's auto fund, which covers the cost for repairing damaged vehicles.
Where we are at right now, given the increase in cost of repair per vehicle and the pressure that's putting on the auto fund, is that we've had to make that rate application, which is the responsible thing to do.
Harrison says the rate increase was needed after a decade of not being adjusted.
Over the course of the last decade, where the auto fund was in a significant MCT position of surplus, and because of that, the recommendation had been to return at that point surplus funds in the auto fund to insured members who are a part of the program.
Adding, the rate increase for SGI will help support the auto fund in a viable long-term place. Sierra D'Souza, CTV News, Regina.
The Saskatchewan government has signed an agreement to create a national energy corridor along with 9 other provinces and territories. This new agreement is meant to improve electricity connectivity between the provinces with the goal of better energy security across the country. For Saskatchewan, better transmission means new economic opportunities, supports growing power demands, and improves the reliability of the grid. Nunavut, Newfoundland, and Quebec are the only provinces or territories who have not signed on. 2 young people have been arrested after 3 BB-style long guns were found in a vehicle outside of Saskatchewan High School. RCMP called to Greenall High School in the Balgony area late Wednesday morning over reports of a person with a firearm in a vehicle nearby. Police saying the report came in from someone driving by on the highway. The school was placed on hold and secure mode. 2 male teens taken into custody and 3 BB guns seized. No one was injured. Police say there's no risk to public safety.
I recognize that this is a very scary experience for students, for teachers, and for parents. This situation was brought under control quickly and safely due to a quick report to police, Someone saw something and said something. The fast action of school administration and the immediate response of our police officers.
CMP did confirm that as of Wednesday afternoon, no charges have been laid and the investigation is still in its early stages. No information on the suspects has been released due to the Youth Criminal Justice Act. A man who stole a work truck and caused a police chase through Saskatoon got a big prison sentence. Jeremy Dodge.
Yeah, Daryl, this was the pursuit last July. 33-year-old Kaz Dagno did plead guilty to several charges, including robbery, dangerous driving while impaired, and aggravated assault of a police officer. Happened on July 9th, or it started on July 9th. He robbed a convenience store, assaulted a taxi driver, and drove the cab into the store before fleeing. About an hour later, at Wiggins Avenue and Cascade Street, he stole a work truck, which he drove erratically through the city, ramming two police vehicles. Officers eventually forced the vehicle off the road on Circle Drive near Valley Road. Dagno was sentenced at provincial court this week. With credit for time served, he will have about 4 years left. The Ramey Modern Art Gallery is due for some pricey maintenance. Less than 10 years after opening its doors, the Ramey needs to replace its boilers. The city report says one of the vessels is leaking, and there are other signs of failures. Making matters worse is the manufacturer has made the model obsolete, and replacement parts are unavailable. The Technical Safety Authority of Saskatchewan says without replacement, the boilers would need 24/7 supervision. So the city will look to spend about $1.5 million to replace them.
It's past time for these boilers. They need to be replaced, so we're going to replace them with something that's more suited to the environment that they have to run in, and that doesn't require that 24-hour supervision.
Now, the boiler money will come from a reserve for art gallery upgrades. It'll use about a quarter of the money Ramey Modern has paid into the fund. All right, Daryl, the war in the Middle East entering day 6.
Yeah, with new strikes between Israel and Iran. Jeremy, thank you. The damage in Beirut is piling up after days of Israeli airstrikes. Lebanese media is reporting that 3 people have been killed and 6 others injured after 2 strikes near the capital. Plus, new strikes were reported this morning in southern Beirut, which is a Hezbollah stronghold. Thick smoke can be seen rising above Tehran this morning as Israel launches a new strike there. Air raid sirens rang out in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem this morning with explosions in the sky as strikes were intercepted. There were no immediate reports of any injuries or deaths. Israel is now easing some restrictions on the public because there have been a decline in the number of rockets being fired from Iran. Refunds have now been ordered for the illegal tariffs countries have been paying to the U.S. A judge with the U.S. Court of International Trade says companies that paid the tariffs that were later struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court should get their money back. America's top court struck down U.S. President Donald Trump's Liberation Day and fentanyl-related tariffs last month. The trade court judge says Customs and Border Protection will have to finalize refunds for importers who paid the tariffs. The refunds involve potentially billions of dollars. The judge has ordered that interest should also be paid. A new survey is showing strong support for the arts in Saskatchewan. The survey conducted by Saskatoon-based research firm Insightrix on behalf of Saskatchewan Arts Alliance showed around 3/4 of respondents believe arts and culture are important to life here in Saskatchewan, but more than 8 in 10 people surveyed said affordability limits their ability to engage in the arts, whether it's concerts, theater shows, or visits to galleries.
It's really important to do this work and this research beyond our reach as the Arts Alliance. We're really connected within the arts community, but when we're able to kind of probe further than people who already support the arts and look at those opinions, we're able to better understand how to articulate our value as a sector.
The survey was conducted in the fall of 2025 and surveyed 400 people across the province. Let's go to draw 14 at the Montana's Brier. Manitoba and Braden Calvert taking on Mike McEwen in Saskatchewan. Third ends where we begin. Manitoba up 2-0. They're lying 3 without hammer. Calvert trying to throw another log on the fire. This one gets touched by one of his sweepers. right on the bottom. They're forced to remove it from play. It's a tough break for Calvert. Saskatchewan would score 1 in the end. So we go to the 8th end. Manitoba up 6-4. They're line 2 and have the hammer. But a tough shot to score 3. Calvert is going to make the angle raise. Take a look at that. A thing of beauty for 3. They'd shake hands from there. The Brier rookie, Hans McEwen, just his second loss of the week, make the final 9-4. We've got travel not recommended. We've got a section of Highway 1 closed. We got a little bit of sleet in the south. What's going on out there?
Yeah, well, we talked about it yesterday, that freezing rain that came overnight. So you should have been well prepared for it. But just to let you know, it did come in exactly as we expected it to, meaning southern Saskatchewan is seeing some issues out there on the highway. If you're hitting the Trans-Canada, check that highway hotline before you are heading out the door. In Regina right now, -13. It seems like the freezing rain just stopped. It was falling just a few short minutes ago. We do have some clouds up in the sky and some winds coming in at 24 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, we've seen a few flakes to start the day, -13, and winds right now coming in at 24 kilometers per hour. All right, let's take a look at that radar and satellite to show you how that system came in. It's exactly how we predicted it. It came up from the United States and it came with the snow, the freezing rain, and just the regular rain. So again, the roads are going to be a little bit tricky this morning for you. Futurecast right now, though, showing current conditions. Right now, 6 a.m., we're seeing it right around Swift Current still, really blanketing that Trans-Canada highway for the most part. There's a couple patches where we're not seeing it, but still be very careful out there this morning. Regina still seeing some of it, and it's right on the cusp there of Saskatoon as well. Into the afternoon hours, we're still seeing it in parts of central Saskatchewan and that long line there heading down through the south. And then into the evening hours, we still see it falling all around the Parkland region. Yorkton right now is where we're seeing the most on our radar for snow falling for this afternoon. Now, as we look forward to tomorrow, we do see another system making its way in the late morning hours. By the mid-afternoon, it does shrink in size, but by Saturday morning, we're talking about a much larger system bringing a whole lot of snow to northern Saskatchewan and right along Prince Albert there with some of that freezing rain as well. Today's forecast with the temperatures looking a little bit better than what we saw yesterday. -7 for the Battlefords, -9 for Prince Albert, -8 for Saskatoon, -9 for Regina, -8 for Moose Jaw this afternoon, and -8 for Weyburn. So throughout central and northern Saskatchewan, we're seeing temperatures a little bit warmer than what we have been seeing. Southern Saskatchewan pretty on par with the past few days. Warming up a little bit by tomorrow, -3 for Regina, 5 degrees on Saturday, 4 degrees on Sunday, and -1 on Monday. Yes, we are still seeing some more precipitation into early next week. In Saskatoon, 0 degrees tomorrow, 6 degrees on Saturday, 2 degrees by Sunday, and -4 on Monday.
New data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows that the leading cause of death in children isn't car accidents or cancer, it's firearms. Since 2019, guns have killed more children and teens than any other cause, and that trend continues today. In 2023 alone, firearm deaths rose by more than 50% compared to just 4 years earlier. Meanwhile, motor vehicle deaths, once the top cause of pediatric deaths, have dropped by nearly half. That's thanks to decades of improved vehicle safety and public health efforts. Experts say the same kind of systems-level approach from policy to prevention could help reverse the number of child gun deaths and save young lives. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
The parents of Logan Boulay have launched this year's Green Shirt Day campaign.
A legacy. Well, Logan has left behind a legacy of kindness.
The campaign encourages organ and tissue donation. It's been nearly 8 years since the Humboldt Broncos bus crash killed 16 people, including Logan. He signed his organ donor card, a decision that helped save the lives of 6 people.
There you go. You can still donate. You can still be a part of the cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Green Shirt Day.
This is something that I'm a big advocate for. You got to sign up to be an organ donor.
And if you can't see it on your screen, it's greenshirtday.ca for everything that you need to know. Let's get on to our question du jour. Big news in Riderville. They're looking for a new Gainer the Gopher. Not the gopher itself, the person that goes in the gopher. Let us do a question of the
It's
day.
a costume?
No.
We're asking you today, who is your favorite mascot? Jeremy, do you have one?
Yeah, probably Gainer. I don't know. I kind of get annoyed by mascots most of the time. I think they're mostly for kids, right?
Oh, yeah.
I laugh at Gritty a lot in Philadelphia.
Gritty's good.
Yeah.
But sometimes he's pretty mean.
I'll always be a big fan of the Oregon Duck. And of course, Harvey the Hound, the NHL's very first mascot.
I feel like you can predict who I'm going to say.
Is it Harvey?
No, well, I'm going completely away
Bobcat.
from sports, though.
Okay.
A mascot for a company.
Oh, is it the Duolingo?
It is the Duolingo owl. I talk a lot in the office about the Duolingo owl and how he's vaguely threatening. He threatens me to do my Spanish lessons.
That's true. That's true.
And he
also
keeps me.
has a
He
huge
keeps me on
crush
it.
on Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
I just think he's so funny. So we want to hear from you. Text your name and your answer to
Cool.
10400. Standard message rates may apply, or scan that QR code on your screen. For now, we are going to take a live look over the beautiful city of Saskatoon.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. We are taking a trip to Montana's Briar for this one. It's PEI taking on Nova Scotia. PEI skip Tyler Smith facing one with his last. Trying to slash this one into the rings to wipe out that one red stone, and he makes it. That is good for 3. What a shot from Smith. Helps PEI pick up their 3rd win at this year's Briar and earning your must-see moment from Wednesday. And we've got more coverage of the Montana's Briar for you today. It all begins at 8 a.m. Eastern over on TSN 1 and 5. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a terrific Thursday.
It's a story about the power of social media and reuniting two long-lost pen pals. Here's Jacob Carr.
Back in 1996, both Kirsten Fleming, formerly from Regina, and Naomi Uchibayashi from Japan took part in the Regina Fujioka student exchange program and became friends. Fast forward to this year, when Fleming was recently in Japan for the Tokyo Marathon and had a thought to try and track down her old friend. A couple of Instagram posts later and some help from the program, Fleming had found her.
Someone in the program went to her high school, and the principal of that high school was like, oh, I know where her mom lives, and went and knocked on her mother's door and just said, your exchange student from 1996 is here and wants to see you.
Fleming says she got up early Saturday morning in Tokyo and hopped on a train to Fujioka to be reunited with Uchibayashi.
I can't believe it. It was very surreal and really overwhelming. I was just like shaking, and I got there and there were so many people and everybody had their phone out, and they had like people from City Hall, Fujioka were there, and people who had been through the program after me.
Gilbert Proul, who currently works with the program and took part in it as a student in 1999, says Fleming's story is not only about the positive power of social media, but also the lasting connections that the exchange program creates.
I thought it was an incredible story to share about what this program can do for people, and even for myself too, because I went years without any connection with my student, but now we've reconnected over Facebook in the last decade.
As for what's next for the rekindled friendship, Fleming says she is hopeful Uchibayashi and her family will soon make a trip to Calgary to hit the slopes.
We've been communicating a lot and exchanging pictures and comments, and we're hoping that they maybe come and visit us and come skiing one of these years, because they really love to ski, and we live in a ski town, so let's have them.
From 3 decades of no contact to 2 peas in a pod once again, all thanks to the power of social media. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in either Regina or Saskatoon, we're at -13 by lunchtime in both cities, -11, and just a slight difference by final bell. Regina could be seeing some flakes still throughout the early afternoon, pushing away for the later parts of the afternoon, -10 and -9 by final bell in Saskatoon. Mainly just expecting a lot of cloud cover today there. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common price, $134.9. The lowest you might find, $114.9. In Saskatoon, the common price, $137.9. But take a look at that price. The lowest you might find is $131.9 today. In the farm markets, the street price of canola at $648.73 per ton, and the futures price, $709.40 per ton. Amber durum wheat now at $278.59 per ton, and red spring wheat, $267.19 per ton. The Canadian dollar is up yet again. It's at 73.19 cents U.S. Stay with us.
Good morning. Welcome to your morning. Let's get to your headlines. Police have now charged a second person in connection to Saskatoon's first homicide of the year. On February 3rd, 2 men went to St. Paul's Hospital in need of emergency care after being stabbed near 21st Street West and Avenue P South. One of the men died of his injuries. A 26-year-old man has been charged with manslaughter and aggravated assault. Last month, the manslaughter charge against an 18-year-old man was downgraded to accessory after the fact to manslaughter, accessory after the fact to aggravated assault, public mischief, and obstruction of justice. A 17-year-old boy charged in the death of a 16-year-old Prince Albert girl is scheduled to be back before the courts later this month. The teenager is charged with second-degree murder in the death of Rihanna Cook. She was shot on November 27th in the 900 block of 12th Street West in Prince Albert and later died of her injuries. The youth, who cannot be named, is the same person taken into custody at the homicide scene in November and later released. His case was before the courts yesterday morning, but his lawyer requested more time to work on the case. It has been adjourned now until March 25th. A pedestrian has died after being hit near Hague on Highway 11. It happened yesterday morning, just around 7 o'clock. The victim has been identified as a man from the Beardies and Okemasis Cree Nation. The driver remained at the scene and has not been charged. The first new build house for Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation was shipped to Denair Beach Wednesday. The community lost 24 of its 30 homes this summer due to wildfire, and now the community is in the process of rebuilding. The new homes, 18 of which are completed, are sitting at the Lake Country Co-op lot north of Prince Albert. Some of the new homes are wheelchair accessible with lower countertops and accessible bathrooms. Chief Peter Beattie says that families have been staying outside the community while their houses are being built and waiting to return. The co-op says that the goal is to transport 2 houses a week, depending on weather conditions.
They'll be able to get back into their community and, try and start over again, because they lost everything when that fire went through.
Now they're going to take 2 a week, depending on the weather conditions, as we said. The Port of Churchill has signed a major agreement with one of the biggest cargo shipping facilities in the world to collaborate on the port's design. The Canadian port will join forces with the Belgian port on business development as well as future trade plans. While not yet a sure thing, the site in northern Manitoba is planning a multi-billion-dollar expansion as one of the projects the Liberal government has declared to be of national interest. The Saskatoon Police Service is working to recruit more women to the force. Chief Cam McBride says women are still underrepresented in the service, but recruitment efforts are underway, focusing on attracting candidates who better reflect the community. The push comes as police services across the country face declining recruitment numbers and increased competition for new officers.
While we don't have a complement of women in police that equal the number of women in our community by percentage, we're definitely focused on identifying women who would be great at policing and trying to get them to come to our service. They do provide a uniqueness that I think was not there historically. Women think a little bit differently, and often they challenge our men to see things in a different and often better way.
Government of Saskatchewan has launched a national recruitment campaign convincing Canadians to move here and work in policing. City of Regina has an idea to solve its complaints with moves to cashless parking payment. In December, Council passed a policy to remove coin parking meters and move to an app-based system. It's a decision which Mayor Chad Baczynski and City councillors say flooded their inboxes with complaints as those without smartphones or credit cards were left without a way to pay. Now the city says parking vouchers will be available for purchase at City Hall, with parkers able to pay with cash or card there.
It's fair to say that the most convenient option moving forward is going to be the app. That's the reality. Again, this was a cost-saving decision that council made through a very tough budget cycle that we had in December. And we were moving quickly on it, and obviously we had to fill that gap.
The vouchers still require final council approval, but after passing unanimously at Executive Committee on Wednesday, that is expected to happen next week. The South Saskatchewan Independent Living Centre is celebrating 35 years in Regina, holding a birthday party to recognize that milestone. The organization works with people who have disabilities, assisting them with employment and entrepreneurship goals, as well as business of daily living. The South Saskatchewan Independent Living Centre also provides supports to people who have a cognitive disability, allowing them to stay in their own homes. The group receives funding from all three levels of government, allowing them to help hundreds of clients every year. The centre estimates they have provided assistance to nearly 10,000 people during its 35-year run.
This is a celebration. We're celebrating diversity, inclusion, unique people who have a drive, who want to get out there in the world and make a difference. And that's a perfect thing to celebrate.
Looking to the future, the group plans to host the first ever disability hiring event in September, bringing together people who have a disability with employers who may have a job for them. Saskatoon Blades have clinched a playoff spot.
Pass off of a stick. Matthews moving in, circles the net, wraparound save made, rebound shot, they score!
The Blades scored 2 goals in the second period and held on from there. They beat the Red Deer Rebels 3-2 last night. Rowan Calvert scored a goal. He now has 27 on the year.
On the 2-1-1, now the other way, quick shot and Calgary scores!
Swift Current Broncos' winless streak has now hit 10 games. They fall 3-2 to the Calgary Hitmen last night. They are last in the league. And a young Blue Jays fan gave up his prize and stole hearts in the stands during spring training.
Goes full.
Foul ball sent a Detroit Tigers fan over the seats in a failed attempt to catch it. But watch as this little Jays fan picks up the ball and instead of hanging on to it, hands it over to the man who is about to walk away disappointed. Oh, generosity. I hope he gave it back to him.
I'm sitting here wondering, how do I raise my child to have that amount of kindness?
I really don't know. I just try hard every day, I guess.
What a well-raised kid. All right, let's turn our attention to the morning view. It's brought to you by Affinity Wealth Management. We know investing. In Regina, we're waking up to that temperature of -13. Some clouds up in the sky. We did see some of that freezing rain overnight and into early this morning. Take it slow out there on those roads and even consult the highway hotline if you're heading out on that Trans-Canada Highway, especially. In Saskatoon, -13. We are seeing a few flakes still in the area. That again continued on from overnight, and some fog as well to start the day. Let's take a look at that radar and satellite. All those areas lighting up in that purple and white color. Also down in the south, you can see the pinks and the greens indicating the rain and freezing rain. So again, if you're living in any of these areas lighting up, take it slow out there this morning. Current temperatures not looking quite as bad as what we have been seeing in the past few days. Thankfully, up north, we have started to see those cold warnings lift. Stony Rapids at -24 right now. Vast improvement over -42 that we were seeing at this time yesterday. -19 in La Ronge this hour, -17 in Nipawin, -18 in Spiritwood. Down towards the south, still not seeing a whole lot of that blue color except for that southwest corner, -2 in East End, -15 in Weyburn though, -17 in Yorkton, and -15 in Wynyard. Later on this afternoon, Temperatures down in the south looking pretty similar to what we saw yesterday, but in the central zone and even up north, a bit of an improvement compared to what we saw yesterday. -7 for the Battlefords with some of that snow, -9 for Prince Albert, -11 in Yorkton. Yorkton is also where we're expecting to see most of that snow falling today, -8 in Moose Jaw and -9 in Estevan. So we talked about Yorkton getting the most. How much? Well, by about 1 a.m. you can expect about 8 centimeters of snow in that area. About 1 centimeter expected for Regina, about 1 for Moose Jaw, and 1 centimeter expected for Estevan. Your 7-day forecast looking like things are warming up slightly tomorrow. -3 in Regina, 5 degrees tomorrow on Saturday, 4 degrees on Sunday, but we are expecting some mixed precipitation. -1 on Monday, -3 on Tuesday. Both of those days expecting a few flakes, and -4 on Wednesday. In Saskatoon, up to 0 degrees tomorrow, 6 degrees on Saturday, 2 degrees on Sunday, some flurries on the way, -4 on Monday. Again, expecting to see a few of those flakes falling, -5 on Tuesday and -4 by Wednesday.
Chrissy Van joins us today from the Van, from Vancouver, and she's with us on behalf of the Hong Kong Tourism Board, and we're talking about Hong Kong, so thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Here to fuel your wanderlust.
Well, I love that because so many people are looking for new and different destinations to head to. And obviously, the first step in every journey starts with a first step. And so let's talk about getting to Hong Kong. What was that like for you?
The beauty was the adventure started right when you're on board that airplane. I traveled on Cathay Pacific. They have incredible dining. And yes, I use the word dining, not airplane food. It's elevated. You arrive nourished, rested. And that's good news because once you get there, I stayed at the Park Lane Hotel right in Causeway Bay. You experience the vibrant bustle of the city, but also near some great green spaces as well to decompress after the travel.
Now, did that surprise you, the green spaces? Because it surprised me when I heard about because we take a look at that skyline, we take a look at what we think we know about Hong Kong, and it's like, oh, green spaces. So tell us a little bit about that.
Without question. Yeah, it really did surprise me. I got my first little taste taking the Peak Tram. It was established in 1888, so you get this elevated view. And you see all that green space mixed in with the skyline. But then we traveled to Sai Kung, which was a traditional fishing village. And just off of that, there's Sharp Island. So we're talking idyllic beaches, turquoise waters, mixed in with the history as well. So I am a huge outdoor hiker, water baby. So I was exceptionally pleased to have that space to decompress because Hong Kong does keep you busy.
I bet. Now, you mentioned fish there, and I always ask my friends when they come back from a trip, what was the best meal you had? And I'm guessing it might be tricky to pick one in Hong Kong.
That is exactly right, because there's a lot of diversity in the cuisine. So I think my favorite was the traditional Dai Pai Dong. You're talking high fire wok cooking, street side in a traditional stall. Of course, you do need to walk the night markets. Try everything. There's so many different flavors to explore. But then if you're looking for something more elevated, you can find that as well, like a Michelin star restaurant. Wing was my favorite. It's Chinese, Cantonese cuisine. There were so many surprising flavors that'll delight the palate. I'm still working off the dumplings, but no regrets.
All right. In the few seconds I have left, what is the best way to experience the culture that Hong Kong has to offer?
If I were to pick one, Aqua Luna junk boat, take in the skyline, but also be on that traditional vessel. It'll give you such a taste and flavor and help you map out all the destinations you want to explore along the way.
All right, fantastic. We're just out of time, Chrissy. Thank you so much for giving us some insight into traveling to Hong Kong and fueling that wanderlust that you talked about. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, let's check in with Janelle Lippi this morning, learning more about stained glass at the Glassy Gardener. Janelle?
Hi, Jeremy. That's right. A lot of fun ahead of us here this morning. And I've got Kate with me. We're going to talk all about you, Kate, for this time around. We've got some beautiful art here that we will show you in just a minute. But before we get into that, let's talk about you, Kate. How did you get started?
Sorry, early morning. So I got started when I was 10 years old. My parents actually signed me up for a stained glass class at the Neil Balkwell. So I took it. I think I was the youngest in the room probably. And I just fell in love with it. And then I carried on working on stained glass at Friars Stained Glass. They're now closed, unfortunately. But I worked there for open studio time. That would be like my fun night during the week, during like high school and stuff. And I just kept going. And yeah, now I guess I just turned it into a job, which is pretty cool. So yeah.
That's amazing. And it's so beautiful. Your work is fantastic. Now, you also have classes. Tell me a little bit about those.
Yes, yeah. So I actually was teaching at the Neil Balkwell for quite a while, like well over a year. But I decided to start doing home-based studio classes. So I do teach beginner classes where you can learn the whole process from cutting to grinding, foiling, and then soldering your pieces together. But then I also do little project classes. So everything's pre-cut. You can just come for one night. You can foil, solder, and have a project ready to take home. So yeah, it's been really fun. It's been taking off. I started doing that last summer, and yeah, it's been going on every week since. So it's been a really good time. Yeah.
It sounds like it. So very beginner friendly. These classes are available to you. That link is up on your screen. You can click it, get into there for a little bit more information. And we have some demonstrations coming up as well. So stay tuned for that.
All right. Looking forward to that. Janelle, thank you very much. We'll see you in a little while.
Canada and Australia have signed new agreements on critical minerals as Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney makes a landmark address to the Australian Parliament, a sign of the developing bond between the middle powers. In a world of great power rivalry, middle powers have a choice: compete for favor or combine for strength, is what Carney told lawmakers. Canada and Australia produce about a third of global lithium and uranium, as well as more than 40% of global iron ore. Well, the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board says about 3,900 homes changed hands in February, down 6.3% from the same month last year, as sales also declined 1% on a seasonally adjusted basis from January. The average selling price was down 7.1% from February of 25. It's just over $1 million right now. The composite benchmark price, meant to represent the typical home, was down nearly 8% year over year. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
It's March 5th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Ayla for her sweet 16th. Enjoy your special day with love from your dad, mom, siblings, Papa, and Cookum. Also celebrating today is Maya. Happy birthday to you with love from your mom, dad, and sisters. Have a great day. Warm happy birthday greetings also going out to Diane Hunt from all of her family and friends. Have a wonderful day. Turning 30 years old today is Savannah. Happy birthday to you. Lots of love from Paisley, mom, dad, Michaela, and Everly. Happy birthday to Rain. He's turning 5 years old today. This shout out coming from all of your family and friends, including your mom, dad, mama, and papa. Happy 9th birthday to Journey. We hope you have an awesome day today. Lots of love from your grandpa or your grandma and papa.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Chase, who's your favorite mascot? Is it that fire chicken thing that they got for the Washington Capitals?
The fire chicken? Like the eagle?
Yeah.
Classic. Now it is. Now that we're calling it a fire chicken, that might be the best one. I know it's not gritty. That thing still freaks me out. I will say that. No, it has to be Gaynor here in the province. Although one time I saw him just wearing half the suit, and that still has not left me. So that is a scar for life. Today we're talking roll up the rim, though. Here's a question for you. You find a roll up the rim cup, a Timmy's cup. It hasn't been rolled yet. Do you take it and roll it? Like, you're essentially grabbing it that was garbage. Is the curiosity getting into you, or are you just letting that stay put? You can text over 54321. I think it's fine as long as you're not using your teeth for that play. That would be the step too far.
Thanks very much, Chase.
Thanks. We'll see you next hour.
Harry Styles is opening up about the death of Liam Payne. It's the first time he's spoken publicly about the 2024 death of his former One Direction bandmate.
Like, it's so difficult to lose a friend. It's difficult to lose any friend, but it's so difficult to lose a friend who is like so like you in so many ways.
Styles made the comments on Apple Music's The Zane Lowe Show as part of a larger conversation about his new album.
You've reached the voicemail box of Mrs. Barbara Howard. I am too busy celebrating the good news to come to the phone right now.
ABC's hit sitcom Abbott Elementary is returning for a 6th season. The news was announced in the form of an outgoing voice message from Barbara Howard, the character Cheryl Lee Ralph plays on the Emmy-winning show.
I love all of you, plus... Please do not talk about your other hotter friend group. It hurts my feelings.
It's a new season of The Four Seasons. The comedy, starring Tina Fey, Will Forte, and Coleman Domingo, returns to Netflix May 28th. Like the first season, the series will show 6 friends on 4 different seasonal vacations. And happy birthday to Red Hot Chili Peppers guitarist John Frusciante. He turns 56 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News.
Always make bids on how old the celebrities are in the celebrity birthday portion. Kayleen just nailed it. So your prizes, you get to go first.
I yelled 56.
There you go.
And it was 56.
Crushed
okay.
Nice.
Sidebar time. Dogs might not always be man's best friend. Yes, it's a dog that judges you. No matter where you are or what you're doing, Benny the Golden is there to show his disapproval. Even when he's not impressed, he is still adorable, though.
Yeah. How about from a judgy dog, we go to a very caring kid?
Oh, you're hurting the dog. Okay, you want me to rub it? Be nice to it? Okay, be nice to it. Be nice to the dog.
Be nice to the dog.
Here.
Yeah, be nice. Be nice.
Give it a hug.
This 2-year-old is extremely empathetic to the bread. Doesn't like the punching or the kneading of the dough.
Oh, leave the dough alone.
I guess.
Oh, poor kid.
Is it, or
Violence
is it like
is not
tough necessary?
Some big feelings.
Oh, some big feelings. For
I feel like you and I have different parenting styles.
Yeah.
You're like, toughen up, kid. And I'm like, oh.
Just bread. Jeremy, your turn.
All right, Wicked fan showing off his love for the stars of the movie in a very unique way. Is Jace Hallert. He calls himself a word artist. So he made this portrait of Elphaba and Glinda by writing their names nearly 12,000 times.
Oh.
Man, that is dedication.
Seems like a pandemic hobby if I've ever...
But look at how incredible it looks, though.
Oh, don't deny that.
Holy moly. Wow. Everyone, every day I get to see on this show people who are more talented than I am.
And on that note, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
It's Thursday, March 5th.
But we will always defend Canadians. We will always stand by and defend our allies.
As the conflict in the Middle East threatens to widen, the Prime Minister is not ruling out Canada's military playing a possible role.
We're definitely focused on identifying women who would be great at policing.
The Saskatoon Police Service working to recruit more women to the force.
Again, this was a cost-saving decision that council made through a very tough budget.
And the city of Regina has an idea to solve complaints when it comes to parking. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Thursday.
Continue to watch those roads because they ugly this morning. Take a look at that section between Gull Lake and Swift Current still closed at this hour. Travel not recommended is in blue. All this freezing rain you warned us about yesterday.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a few days now, so it's not a surprise, although it is one of those things where we have to keep you updated and tell you the Trans-Canada Highway is going to be a little bit tricky to travel on this morning.
Yeah, if you have an appointment to remove your winter tires, maybe back it up a week or two. Let's get on to news. Prime Minister Mark Carney announced new trade and defence agreements with Australia during a trip that also included an address to Parliament. Abigail Beeman is travelling with him.
A warm welcome down under.
The distance between our two nations has never mattered less, and the closeness of our values has never mattered more.
In the Parliament of our shared Westminster system, Prime Minister Mark Carney highlighted many ways Australia and Canada are similar.
Two proud democracies, the true north and the land down under.
Carney spoke of coming to reaffirm the alliance as global architecture is breaking down in consecutive crises and gave many nods to his well-received Davos speech.
Every agreement signed, every coalition deepened, every commitment made is variable geometry in practice.
And he announced Australia is signing on to the G7 Critical Minerals Alliance. Plus, there are new partnerships on AI and defence.
We're actively exploring new opportunities to protect our vast territories.
Canadian soldiers will begin training on the new radar Canada is buying from Australia later this year.
The world will always be driven by great powers, but it can also be shaped by middle powers that trust each other and act with speed and purpose.
After wrapping up his second Australian stop here in Canberra, Mark Carney heads to Tokyo for the final leg of his Indo-Pacific trip.
The government of Saskatchewan has signed on to an agreement to create a national energy corridor along with 9 provinces and territories. This new agreement is meant to improve electricity connectivity between the provinces with a goal of better securing our energy. Saskatchewan, this means better transmission, it means new economic opportunity and supports growing power demands and improving reliability of the grid. Nunavut, Quebec and Newfoundland, the only provinces or territories not to sign on. 2 young people have been arrested after a BB-style long gun was found inside a vehicle at a Saskatchewan high school. RCMP were called to Greenall High School in Balgony late yesterday morning over reports of a person with a firearm in a vehicle nearby. Police saying the report came in from someone who's just driving by on the highway. The school was placed in hold and secure mode. 2 male teens taken into custody. 3 BB guns were seized. No one injured. Police say no risk to public safety.
I recognize that this is a very scary experience for students, for teachers, and for parents. This situation was brought under control quickly and safely due to a quick report to police, Someone saw something and said something. The fast action of school administration and the immediate response of our police officers.
RCMP did confirm that as of Wednesday afternoon, no charges have been laid and the investigation is still in its early stages, so no information on the suspects being released due to the Youth Criminal Justice Act. Some costly repairs to Saskatoon's famous museum, Jeremy Dodge. What's going on up there?
Well, less than 10 years after it opened its doors, Daryl, the Ramey Modern needs to replace its boilers. Keenan Sorokhan has more on what the building needs and the cost that comes with it.
Less than 10 years after opening, the aging boilers at Ramey Modern are leaking and showing signs of failure, and replacing them will cost $1.5 million.
The model is obsolete. The manufacturer support has ended,
and meaningful long-term repair is not feasible.
Because of the building's unique footprint and size, combined with the strict requirements to maintain the climate for the artwork and exhibits, the boiler runs constantly instead of a typical boiler which turns off every spring. That's reduced the 20-year lifespan to 10 years.
Continued operation increases the risk of sudden failure and loss of environmental controls.
A provincial regulator told the art gallery in 2023 the boilers would need supervision 24 hours a day if they weren't replaced, which costs about $150,000 per year.
They need to be replaced, so we're going to replace them with something that's more suited to the environment that they have to run in.
The money will come from a reserve for this purpose. Nearly a quarter of what Ramey Modern has put into the fund will be used on new boilers.
This money has been saved. This money has been put away. This isn't coming off the mill rate.
Costs have been increasing at Ramey Modern since well before it opened. Construction costs soared to more than $111 million when including the parkade beneath it. It was originally estimated to cost $55 million in 2009. Lawsuits between contractors and subcontractors followed, and repairs were needed on the roof in 2022. The Ramey will also get more than $6.5 million in grants from the city this year and next year. By comparison, the city of Regina gave the Mackenzie Art Gallery a $308,000 grant last year, according to audited financial statements. There's no timeline on when the boilers will be replaced. Tenders are being reviewed before the work is awarded. Keenan Sorakan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Daryl, the conflict in the Middle East entering its 6th day.
Yeah, with new strikes between Israel and Iran. The damage in Beirut is piling up after days of airstrikes. Lebanese media reporting the 3 people have been killed, 6 others injured after 2 strikes near the capital. Plus, new strikes were reported this morning in southern Beirut, which is a Hezbollah stronghold. Thick smoke can be seen rising above Tehran this morning as Israel launches new strikes there. Parade sirens ringing out in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem this morning with explosions in the sky as those strikes were intercepted. No immediate reports of any death or injury. Israel is now easing some restrictions on the public because there's been a decline in the number of rockets fired from Iran. The U.S. House of Representatives will vote on a war powers resolution today after the Senate backed Donald Trump's Iran attacks.
Why is he plunging America headfirst into a war that Americans do not want and which he cannot even explain?
The Senate voted 53 to 47 against a resolution to limit the president's war powers. The vote was mostly along party lines. Any resolution passed by Congress can be vetoed by the president. Refunds have now been ordered for the illegal tariffs countries have been paying to the U.S. A judge with the U.S. Court of International Trade says companies that paid the tariffs that were later struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court should get their money back. America's top court struck down U.S. President Donald Trump's Liberation Day and fentanyl-related tariffs last month. The trade court judge says Customs and Borders Protection will have to finalize refunds for importers who paid those tariffs. The refunds involve potentially billions of dollars. The judge has ordered that interest should also be paid. The first new house for Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation was shipped to Denair Beach Wednesday. Community lost 24 of its 30 homes due to wildfire, and now they're in the process of rebuilding. The new homes, 18 of which are completed, are sitting at the Lake Country Co-op north of Prince Albert. Some of the new homes are wheelchair accessible with lower countertops and accessible bathrooms. The chief of the nation says the families have been staying outside the community and they are waiting to return.
Be able to get back into their community and, try and start over again because they lost everything when that fire went through.
Co-op says the goal is to take 2 houses a week up there, depending on weather conditions. The power of the internet helped reunite 2 long-lost friends. They were a part of a student exchange program in the 90s. Regina's Kirsten Fleming and Japan's Naomi Ochibeya became fast friends 30 years ago. Fleming was in Tokyo recently for a marathon, thought about her old pal, thought, I'll look her up. Found some posts, found some friends of friends, and tracked her down.
It was very surreal and really overwhelming. I was just like shaking, and I got there and there were so many people and everybody had their phone out, and they had like people from City Hall, Fujioka were there, and people who had been through the program after me.
Fleming says she was able to meet her friend's husband, 2 sons, and that a language barrier was not an issue because Fleming's long-lost friend now teaches English in Japan. How about that? Gotta love a good reuniting.
Yeah, that's a great story. I love that one.
Let's get over to the weather, which is less of a great story if you're in the Swift Current area.
Yeah, so right around Swift Current, we are seeing a lot of those rural roads, not exactly the Trans-Canada Highway, but those rural roads north and south of Swift Current, seeing that travel not recommended. On the Trans-Canada Highway from Swift Current through to Gull Lake, the road is closed. And from Swift Current to Moose Jaw, we're seeing those partly covered roads. And that's all, of course, due to that weather system that we saw making its way through the area overnight. It came with some snow. It came with some freezing rain and some just regular rain. So definitely be careful out there this morning. Minus 13 to wake us up in Regina. We have seen some flurries this morning, just a few. In Saskatoon, also seeing a few light flakes, minus 13, and winds coming in at 20 kilometers per hour. Let's take a look at that radar and satellite, though. Came in exactly as we predicted it to yesterday off that radar. Came in from the United States primarily, bringing that snow to the area around Swift Current. The pink color you're seeing there is the freezing rain, and the green color that kind of tapered off was the regular rain there. As temperatures dropped, of course, we saw that mainly falling in the form of some snow. Futurecast showing current conditions, so we're still seeing it right around Swift Current there. We're still seeing it right around Regina, and as we look forward to the afternoon hours, we see it in areas around Yorkton and farther north of that Parkland region there. Into the overnight hours, we see a little bit more coming up from the United States, impacting areas around Estevan as well, so be prepared for that. Then we're looking forward to tomorrow and even Saturday, when we're looking forward to some more precipitation making its way through central and northern Saskatchewan. The largest part of that system going to be some snow falling on Saturday morning. Today's forecast with the temperatures looking pretty similar to what we saw yesterday in the south, but through central Saskatchewan, we are seeing a bit of a warm up. Minus 7 in the Battlefords, minus 9 in Prince Albert, and minus 8 in Saskatoon. And although that is a significant improvement from what we have been seeing in the past couple days with that really cold weather, it is still below the seasonal average. Minus 11 for Yorkton, minus 9 for Regina, and minus 9 for Estevan as well, with those flakes that we just discussed. Our 5-day forecast for Regina looking like we do have some improvements on the way for the temperatures, but we also do have some precipitation on the way starting on Sunday, carrying us into Monday. In Saskatoon, again, seeing temperatures look pretty good for your weekend. 0 degrees tomorrow, 6 degrees on Saturday, mix of sun and cloud, 2 degrees on Sunday, but we do see that snow returning. Minus 4 on Monday, again with some flurries. Seeing some more flakes on our rural forecasts today. Melfort, Hudson Bay, and Wynyard with those flurries, all reaching that afternoon high of minus 11, minus 7 for Outlook, and minus 2 with a mix of sun and cloud for Kindersley. Down in the south, seeing a lot of that cloud cover, and yes, still seeing some of those flurries. East End, minus 2. Rockland with that cloud cover, minus 3. Minus 9 for Pilot Butte this afternoon, and minus 10 in Carlisle. Let's take a look at Central Butte, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. Minus 7 this afternoon, a few flurries. And northwest winds coming in fairly calm, only coming in up to about 20 kilometers per hour.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. We're taking a trip to Montana's Briar for this one. It's PEI taking on Nova Scotia. PEI skip Tyler Smith facing one with his last. Trying to slash this one into the rings to wipe out that one red stone, and he makes it. That is good for 3. What a shot from Smith. Helps PEI pick up their 3rd win at this year's Briar and earning your must-see moment from Wednesday. And we've got more coverage of the Montana's Briar for you today. It all begins at 8 a.m. Eastern over on TSN 1 and 5. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a terrific Thursday.
Well, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have an exciting new job opening.
Green is the color, football is the game.
They're looking for their next Gainer the Gopher. If you can apply by sending in an audition tape. You don't have to be in costume, but you can be. You just record it and you send it in to them. They're looking for somebody who's going to bring the energy, especially in the summer heat. And I started thinking, you know, I know a person, so now is as good a time as any to submit my audition tape. Here I am as Rampage a couple of years back. I always said I wanted to do it once, and I really got into it.
I was going to say, because I remember you talking about how that was on your bucket list, and you were practically begging people, let me be a mascot just once.
I specifically wanted to be Rampage. I think it's the best mascot costume in the city.
I mean, it looks like you were a natural at it.
I made a list. Well, you don't see it on my arm. I wrote a list of things because I Googled like top mascot moves and things, and I'm like crossing stuff off. Jeremy, have you ever been a mascot? It's so fun.
No. My friend was Satyr Man for the Carleton Crusaders, and I was like his guide at the provincial football final one year. I got to meet Doug Flutie that way when the Grey Cup was being held in Regina.
Beautiful.
But no, I never actually donned the costume.
We're asking people at home in our question of the day, who is your favorite mascot of all time?
Yeah, a few good answers so far up on the big board. Let's throw them up there. We had Kim saying, I agree with Jeremy. They're creepy and annoying. But if I had to pick one, it would be Gaynor, I suppose. Sheena from Weyburn saying Harvey the Hound for sure.
NHL's first mascot.
Yeah, Taylor saying Franklin the dog, my favorite mascot. We had Darren saying Uga from the Georgia Bulldogs.
Okay.
Didn't know. Yeah, wasn't familiar with that one. Robert saying Gaynor the Gopher. Shelley from Regina saying Slider from Hurling Canada volunteered at the Briar held in Regina in 2018. Lucky enough to work with Slider. He is the nicest person you could ever meet and so much fun for the fans.
That's a hard one too because that's a wide mascot costume, right? The rock is big.
Bumping into everything.
Yeah. We
want something you can move in.
So text us your name and your answers so we can share some more answers later in the show. 10400 is that number. Standard message rates may apply, or scan that QR code on your screen.
Dreaming of an unforgettable adventure? Indulge in the magic of Hong Kong. Enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Enter online at ctvregina.ca or ctvsaskatoon.ca. Scan the QR code on your screen, and good luck.
Canada and Australia have signed new agreements on critical minerals as Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney makes a landmark address to the Australian Parliament, a sign of the developing bond between the middle powers. In a world of great power rivalry, middle powers have a choice: compete for favor or combine for strength, is what Carney told lawmakers. Canada and Australia produce about a third of global lithium and uranium, as well as more than 40% of global iron ore. Well, the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board says about 3,900 homes changed hands in February, down 6.3% from the same month last year, as sales also declined 1% on a seasonally adjusted basis from January. The average selling price was down 7.1% from February of 25. It's just over $1 million right now. The composite benchmark price, meant to represent the typical home, was down nearly 8% year over year. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNM Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
It's the segment that infuriates our producer, Nathan, who thinks all these questions are too easy. It's the morning mystery. Here's clue number 1. Introduced in 1936, he's a mustached elderly man dressed in a formal morning suit, top hat, and holding a cane. So it's a person today. Clue number 2, he was originally known as Rich Uncle Pennybags. And clue number 3, Kayleen's already writing. He is part of a broader cast of characters, including Jake the Jailbird and Officer Malloy.
Wait.
I'm going to go...
I got this.
I don't know if
I
don't know if this is his name.
Monopoly Man?
Mr. Monopoly? Jeremy? Mr. Monopoly.
Yeah, okay, so Mr. Monopoly, right? Okay.
He's got a name, Mr. Monopoly. I always think of Ace Ventura.
I love Monopoly.
You like starting family fights.
I do.
Today's morning mystery, Mr. Monopoly.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina or Saskatoon, minus 13 still with that cloud cover. A few flakes have been spotted in the sky in both cities this morning. Minus 11 by lunch for both cities. Expecting that snow to taper off in Saskatoon, but could continue in Regina. By final bell in Regina, still expecting to see just a few flakes up in the sky. Not a lot. Minus 9 in Saskatoon by final bell with that cloud cover. As we go to break, here's an updated look at those gas prices. The common price in Regina is $134.9, and you might find it for as low as $114.9. In Saskatoon, common price $137.9. You might find it for as low as $131.9. In the farm markets this morning, the street price of canola is $648.73 per ton, and the futures price $709.40 per ton. Amber durum wheat now at $278.59 per ton, and red spring wheat $267.19 per ton. The Canadian dollar is up once again this morning. It's at 73.19 cents U.S. Coming up after the break, action from around the WHL as teams look ahead to playoffs. Stay with us.
Good morning, just before 7:30 on CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan. My name is Daryl. Here's what's making news. The operator of the Port of Churchill has signed an agreement with another port, one of the world's largest cargo shipping facilities. Alex Karpa has more on what this could mean economically for Canada moving forward.
This is the Port of Churchill. It's situated on the shores of Hudson Bay in northern Manitoba and is the only deepwater seaport in northern Canada. Interest in revitalizing the port has grown in recent years as Canada seeks to diversify its global trade. Leading this effort is the port's operator Arctic Gateway Group, which has secured a major trade agreement with a prominent European port.
This is a great partnership and a great relationship.
The agreement with Belgium's Port of Antwerp will focus on developing transport of materials, including critical minerals and energy products between Canada and the EU.
We think there's a huge opportunity for us to establish more trade between Western Canada and abroad through this agreement.
An economist says Europe is looking for reliable markets around the world, and Canada presents a good option for them.
So this is very much a win-win. A win for Canadians, particularly those in the north, getting access to better markets and more jobs, and a win for Europeans because now they can get access to Canadian goods without having to worry about geopolitical issues.
Last month, Ottawa says it's considering a major expansion of the Port of Churchill that would transform the northern Manitoba facility into a year-round multi-commodity trade hub. Some living in Churchill are encouraged about the renewed interest in the port, but hope these agreements and words turn into action.
We've seen lots of documents signed and MOUs and things like that, so those are all good, of course, but the next step obviously is putting action to these agreements.
Avery says revitalizing the port has a lot of benefits.
To reestablish ourselves as an energy superpower, to assert our sovereignty in the north, and also to advance Indigenous economic reconciliation.
With Avery going on to say the port may soon play a much bigger role in Canada's economic strategy. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A 33-year-old man who stole a work truck and sparked a high-speed police chase through Saskatoon last summer has been handed a 5-year prison sentence. Stacey Hine has more on his charges and court conditions.
It was like a scene from a movie. Last July, a high-speed police chase ripped through Saskatoon, ending with a work truck being driven off the road. The driver, 33-year-old Kaz Daniel, pleaded guilty to several charges including robbery, dangerous driving while impaired, and aggravated assault of a police officer. He has now been handed a 5-year prison sentence. According to Saskatoon police, the crime spree began on the morning of July 9th when Daniel robbed a convenience store, attacking employees with bear spray and stealing money from the cash register. Police said he then assaulted a taxi driver and drove a cab into the store before fleeing the scene. About an hour later, at Wiggins Avenue and Cascade Street, he stole a truck while sewer work was being done in the area. Daniel sped through downtown and residential neighborhoods during morning rush hour. In the more than half-hour pursuit, he rammed 2 police vehicles and 2 officers fired their guns at the truck. Daniel was eventually forced off the road by police on Circle Drive near Valley Road.
With credit for time served, Daniel has about 4 years left to serve, and he'll be prohibited from driving for 5 years after he's released. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Saskatoon Police Service is working to recruit more women to the force. Chief Cam McBride says women are still underrepresented in the service, but recruitment efforts are underway, focusing on attracting candidates who better reflect the community. The push comes as police services across the country face declining recruitment numbers and increased competition for new officers. It's a great conversation Jeremy Dodge had. You can find it on our website. The city of Regina has an idea to solve complaints about its move to full cashless parking downtown. In December, Council passed a motion to remove coin parking meters and move to an app-based payment system. It's a decision the mayor and city councillors say flooded their inbox with complaints as those without smartphones or credit cards were left without a way to pay. Now the city says parking vouchers will be available for purchase at City Hall, and you'll be able to pay by cash or card there.
It's fair to say that the most convenient option moving forward is going to be the app. That's the reality. Again, this was a cost-saving decision that council made through a very tough budget cycle that we had in December. And we were moving quickly on it, and obviously we had to fill that gap.
The vouchers still require final approval from council, but after passing unanimously at Executive Committee on Wednesday, that is expected to happen next week. In the meantime, app payments remain the primary payment option for parking, and it is free in the evening after 5 and on weekends as well. We're talking more about safety in libraries this morning. There is a lot of finger pointing happening between the government, the opposition, and the union. Hallie Mandrick reports.
The union representing Saskatchewan library workers and the official opposition are calling for action after MLA Terry Jensen's response to being asked to visit workers at a library where safety concerns have been raised.
They've raised the concern. It's a law enforcement issue. If they're feeling harmed, it'd be no different than, if somebody's feeling harmed working at 7-Eleven. Does that mean I should go talk to the individual at the 7-Eleven?
Saskatchewan NDP leader Carla Beck criticized the remarks, challenging Jensen to work a shift at Saskatoon's downtown library.
It was embarrassing. It showed that the minister neither understands nor takes seriously the concerns of library workers, something that shouldn't be news to him in terms of persistent and escalating concerns when it comes to the violence that library workers are facing.
Jensen's office provided a statement to CTV News, which he reiterated in question period.
As I said yesterday in the media scrum, Mr. Speaker, violence in the workplace is completely unacceptable, no matter the workplace.
While Jensen was not available to media following question period, Minister Laurie Carr did respond to the proposition when the topic was brought to the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I know that my colleague would be more than happy to do that, and he has confirmed with me that he would.
Instances of overdoses, assaults, and an attempted kidnapping were previously cited as concerns library staff have had to handle. Contrary to one example provided yesterday, the Regina Public Library clarified that remarks stating a library employee lost a finger in a machete attack were not accurately described. The RPL told CTV, quote, "The incident referenced happened in 2023. It started outside of the library, progressed into the library entrance, and an individual, not a staff member, sustained an injury. No staff lost a finger." The QP president says the issue is still an example of library safety in the province being a major concern.
It impacted our members, folks that work in those places or near those places that see that happening. That has a psychological impact. It creates a dangerous workplace for them. And so it was raised as an example of the types of stuff that we're seeing across the province.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
People in Metro Vancouver were left puzzled this week after seeing a flash of light followed by a loud boom.
Felt a large boom. It sounded like an explosion.
Searched the house, upstairs, downstairs. Didn't know, looked outside.
Some people called police, not sure if there'd been an accident, even an earthquake. So what was it? Well, it was a meteoroid, estimated to be 10 to 100 centimeters large. Astronomers say it isn't unusual for meteors constantly entering Earth's space, but that this one was big enough to see, and it's possible some pieces may have survived impact and may have landed around Whistler or Pemberton. Saskatoon Blades in a playoff spot.
gets it back as he passed off of a stick. Matthews moving in, circles the net, wraparound save made, rebound shot, they score!
The Blades scored 2 goals in the second period and held on from there. They beat the Red Deer Rebels 3-2 last night. Rowan Calvert on your screen right now scored a goal. He has 27 on the year.
On the 2-1-1, now the other way, quick shot and Calgary scores.
Things are going quite ungood for the Swift Current Broncos. Their winless streak now at 10 games. They fall 3-2 to the Calgary Hitmen. Ungood is my own word. You can use it if you like. The Broncos are last in the entire league. Let's get over to the Weather Center. I've said ungood a few times. Somebody tweets me every once in a while and says, that's not English. And
I was just thinking, Daryl, I was thinking, you know, there's probably a child watching right now saying, well, the guy on the news says ungood, so I'll mail them
my English degree. What's going on?
All right, let's turn our attention here to this morning view. It's brought to you by Affinity Wealth Management. We know investing. -13 right now to wake us up in Regina. And Regina and Saskatoon have been seeing a few flakes so far this morning. -13 in Saskatoon as well. You can actually see those flakes now on our traffic camera here. And we have winds coming in at 20 kilometers per hour. Radar and satellite also showing how that system moved through the area last night into early this morning. So it has come with many colors on your screen: snow, rain, and freezing rain. Again, we're seeing most of those issues this morning out on that Trans-Canada Highway. Areas between Swift Current and Gull Lake still closed on the highway. Other than that, we are seeing partly covered and travel not recommended in some areas north and south of Swift Current. Current temperatures showing that we have seen an improvement up north. We're not really seeing as much of that white color there. Stony Rapids is at -24. The cold warnings have officially lifted out of the province. -20 in South End, -19 right now in La Ronge, -18 in Spiritwood. Down towards the south, we find Moose Jaw at -11 right now, -2 in East End, where we're seeing that warmer blue color there. Estevan at -15, -16 in Yorkton. Later on this afternoon, we are seeing temperatures improved in central Saskatchewan, so around the Battlefords, Prince Albert and Saskatoon, warmer than what we saw yesterday. Down towards the south, it's pretty on par to what we have been seeing the past few days. It's not so bad, but it is below the seasonal average. -5 in Swift Current, -8 for Moose Jaw, -11 for Yorkton, and -9 expected for Estevan this afternoon. Winds remaining low, and this is really nice to see compared to what we have been seeing in the past few days when we've been seeing those blues, greens, even yellow, some little pieces of red around the Parkland region. Today, everything is remaining quite low for those wind speeds across the board. In Regina, we are seeing a warm up tomorrow up to -3, and then back into those positive temperatures for Saturday, 5 degrees, 4 degrees on Sunday, but we do have some mixed precipitation on the way. Monday, some more snow, and Tuesday, even more of those flurries. Temperatures dropping back down into the negatives. In Saskatoon, up to 0 degrees tomorrow, 6 degrees on Saturday with that mix of sun and cloud, 2 degrees on Sunday, some more snow on the way. Those flurries carrying us into Monday. We're not really expecting that to be any high totals, so don't worry a lot. It's going to be a dusting of snow, -4 on Monday, -5 on Tuesday, and -4 by Wednesday.
27th Annual Regina District Chamber of Commerce Paragon Awards are coming up right away. Mike Tate is the CEO of that fine organization, joins us in studio this morning. Mike, thank you so much for doing this.
Great to be here, Derek.
First and foremost, you got a 4-year-old out there waiting for you to wave, so you better do that.
Hi, Sawyer.
There you go. My kid doesn't care. He'd rather watch Paw Patrol. Well, what's going on? Paragon's coming up right away. These are your annual business awards. Explain to people who may not have heard of them before what it's all about.
Yeah, our job at the Chamber is to connect businesses, support them, and celebrate them. Shine the light on them, and this is the best way we can possibly do it. We have so many great businesses. Thursday, April 2nd, we're going to get together at the Delta Hotel. There's 9 categories to celebrate, everything from Business of the Year to Environmental Excellence to, new business venture. And we've got some great nominees this year. We can't wait to do it. And you're going to be the host, so it's going to be great.
It's some of those rookies that come out, dude, that category of the new business.
Yeah.
They're so excited because they feel like they're on the right track.
Yeah.
Is that part of what this is about?
It really is. And then it gives them the ability, the content to go forward and present this into our community to say, hey, we're a new business venture. Here we are. The businesses are great, but ultimately we got to celebrate the people behind them. and meet them and make connections. And we all know support local is the best way.
Is it the story behind some of these?
It really is.
That really gets you.
They've all got an idea. They took a risk. They've rolled up their sleeves. They're resilient. We got to celebrate that.
So what is the state of business right now in our community?
Obviously, there's the challenges going on globally. If this has done anything, from a national perspective, we can't rely on one customer. There's some great work being done in India, in China, to start to diversify our portfolio across the world, and that's the silver lining here. But yeah, frustrating times for sure. New data center chat about Regina is happening. The Cargill is going to come online here soon. The canola crush facility, red leaf pulp. So there's some good things happening. We just have to get through the...
Affordability and tariff are always number 1 and 2, 1 and 1A of any conversation any business leader is having that I've spoken to over the last year and a half. If those are 1 and 2, what is number 3 concern for members that are talking to you?
Just the uncertainty side of that piece. So the affordability is decided by, if you're uncertain and prices are fluctuating daily, it's really challenging for them. So if just that certainty, even locally from a taxation perspective, if we just had a giant reset from a tax perspective, well, now we have to start to get to a better path where we can be more predictable.
Are people concerned about we just in the news had the downtown parking piece, the moving to fully app-based, which I think is the way of the future probably. Are vendors downtown a little concerned about that or not really?
It's, there's certainly some concerns, honestly, but we have to move past those things. Those are smaller items for us, and anything we can do to bring people downtown and not impact that, of course, is a positive.
You're always trying to bring people together. The Paragons is one way that you do it, but you have a number of other events, including a brand new one. You're bringing people together over some ales.
Yeah. There's an event called Bureaucracy. Our first one will be March 31st. Exciting. Evan Bray is going to be the host or the guest on it. Really, it just gives our business community a chance to have their voices heard in a very casual setting. We'll pick a pub in Regina and just, talk about what's happening and any challenges they face and how we can support it.
Don't have to be nominated to be at the Paragon Awards 27th annual. Remind us of the date and where we get the tickets.
Thursday, April 2nd, Delta Hotel. We'll send you into Easter long weekend, and you get tickets on our chamber website.
Mike Tate is the CEO of that fine organization. ReginaChamber.com is that website.
Thank you.
Here's what's happening in our community. The Borscht Pierogi and Clam Chowder Supper is on March 6th at 4:30 p.m. It's being held on the 200 block of 5th Avenue West in Kenora. The Weyburn Old Time Dance is on March 6th at 7:30 p.m. It's being held at Cecilia's Banquet Hall in Weyburn. And for more information, you can call 306-861-9929. The St. Patrick's Day Dance is on March 7th at 7:30 p.m. It's being held at Hazel Dell Recreation Center. And for more information, you can call 306-547-4284. You can submit your event to our community by visiting our website at ctvregina.ca and clicking Community Calendar.
Let's head out now again and check in at the Glassy Gardener, where Janelle Lippi joins us from this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeremy. That's right. And we are continuing on our morning, having a lot of fun. As promised, here is a little bit of a demo. I believe we're going to look over some glass cutting right now. Is that right?
Yeah. So basically, to cut glass, you just need a couple simple tools. This is a scoring tool, which means you're just going to scratch the glass with it. And then these are some running pliers, so you clamp it to break it. So I'll just kind of quickly show that. So if this sounds pretty cool.
Very satisfying.
Yeah. And then you'll break it. And so basically, whenever you're doing glasswork, you're chipping away from the shape that you are wanting to make. So I traced these earlier. Awesome. Take your running pliers and then clamp it and it breaks. We'll do a couple more cuts.
You make it look so easy.
Been doing it for almost 20 years, which is so weird to say. But yeah, so then you're kind of left with like the shape that you want. And so there's this piece here that's like in progress. But basically, when you're doing stained glass, you're like making like a puzzle of some sort, so you want to make sure that everything fits nicely. So this is one of the patterns that I offer in my beginner classes that you can make. Yeah, so you cut it, and then you would take it to the grinder, and you would grind up all the edges so that they're nice and smooth, and then that way it's both safe to handle and then ready for the next step, which would be foiling. So
all right, Kate, well, this is beautifully done. We are going to be back very soon. We're going to show you what that next process looks like.
All right. Look forward to seeing the finished outcome, Janelle. See you in a bit.
It's March 5th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Ayla for her sweet 16th. Enjoy your special day. Lots of love from your dad, mom, siblings, Papa, and Cookum. Also celebrating today is Maya. Happy birthday to you, with love from your mom, dad, and sisters. Have a great day. Warm happy birthday greetings also going out to Diane Hunt from all of her family and friends. Have a wonderful day. Turning 30 years old today is Savannah. Happy birthday to you. Lots of love from Paisley, your mom, dad, Michaela, and Everly. Happy birthday to Rain. He's turning 5 years old today. This shout out coming from all of your family and friends, including your mom, dad, mama, and papa. And happy 9th birthday to Journey. We hope you have an awesome day today with lots of love from your grandma and papa.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Let's give some stuff away, can we?
Also, we just called up Crystal and gave away our latest trip to Jamaica, and I'm going to say 90% of that conversation was not even words. She was just making screams and noises of excitement. It's a great trip. Sandals Resort, it is absolutely gorgeous, and today is the last day to get in those keywords. So we want to make sure that we are calling you tomorrow with that trip. A next keyword is coming up shortly here at 8 o'clock, so just 6 minutes out. Have us going with the iHeartRadio app, and then remember, every 2 hours right until 6 p.m. is when you get those keywords. So don't miss out. But our next one on the way here at 8.
All right, Chase, thank you so much. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Thanks. We'll see you then.
I don't have friends. I got family.
And your family will have a new roller coaster to ride this summer at Universal Studios Hollywood. Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift will get riders going at speeds of up to 72 miles per hour on an aerial track stretching the length of 12 football fields. Universal just unveiled the full lineup of coaster cars. Riders can rocket through the theme park in a Mazda RX-7, a Nissan Skyline GTR, a Toyota Supra, and Dominic Toretto's famed Dodge Charger.
The Green Lantern's oath is to protect people. And we both know I do a better job of this than you.
A new teaser trailer is giving us our first look at HBO Max's Green Lantern series, Lanterns. And it looks like we're going to get a more grounded, gritty take on the DC superhero. Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre star in the new series, which has the original Green Lantern Hal Jordan teaming up with new recruit Jon Stewart to investigate a murder in Nebraska. Lanterns begins streaming in August. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
Well, time for Sidebar. Dogs might not be man's best friend all the time. No, I don't bite. I judge.
I'm getting that judging feeling from this dog.
Benny the Golden just staring into your soul disappointingly.
It's like when a parent says, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Poor little
It's just the shape of their face, right? Like this and Grumpy Cat, they can't help it. They don't actually have those feelings.
Poor little
They're just
pup.
how they look.
Maybe he needs a costume to cheer him up.
Yeah, maybe.
What do you got for us?
All right, well, a Wicked fan is showing off his love for the film's stars in a very unique way. This is word artist Jace Hallert. He made this portrait of Elphaba and Glinda by writing their names nearly 12,000 times. He also added character names, song titles, and quotes from the musical to make it extra special. Now I want to know what he's charging for it.
Yeah, there's got to be some reason behind this. Yikes.
Yeah, this is crazy.
JD, close us out.
All right, let's close things out with a very caring kid.
You're hurting the dough.
Okay, you want me to rub it? Be nice to it? Okay, be nice to it. Be nice to the dough.
Be nice to the dough.
Here.
Yeah, be nice. Be nice.
This is 2-year-old Kalani, and he doesn't like it when his mom, when her mom punches the dough. He thinks it's hurting it, so he's being very gentle.
Okay.
It's a sweet, sweet soul.
Not going to get the bread made any faster,
Yeah.
Junior. Do you want to eat tonight or don't you?
Nice kid.
All right. Bye-bye for now.
You're hurting the dough.
It's Thursday, March 5th.
This situation was brought under control quickly and safely.
2 teens arrested at a high school in Balgony. What we know so far.
And the percentage of younger people who are calling the helpline has skyrocketed.
March is Problem Gambling Awareness Month. The new numbers are shedding a light on gambling trends here at home.
We're able to better understand, how to articulate our value as a sector.
A new survey is showing strong support for the arts community in Saskatchewan. Stay with us. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning, and thank you for starting your morning with us.
Still have a stretch of Highway 1 that is travel not recommended this morning because of all that ice and snow. My dad just got back from Mexico. What a rude awakening that is.
Yeah, and we have in studio Bailey going on a cruise tomorrow, so some of us are escaping it, not me.
Got to celebrate our birthday somehow, right, Bailey? That's what that's all about. Yeah, Dad's going to use a lot of aloe vera. I don't think he knows how to use sunscreen. Let's get over to the news. Prime Minister Mark Carney announcing a new trade and defense agreement with Australia.
Every agreement signed, every coalition deepened, every commitment made is variable geometry in practice.
His trip down under also saw him address Parliament, where he highlighted the ways our two countries are similar. Carney announced Australia is signing on to the G7 Critical Minerals Alliance, as well as new partnerships on AI and defense. Canadian soldiers will begin training on the new radar Canada is buying from Australia later this year. He'll now head to Japan for the final part of his Indo-Pacific trip. Closer to home, Saskatchewan NDP says their introduction of a bill to lower your power and insurance bills was blocked by the government on Wednesday. Sierra D'Souza Butts reports.
SGI and SaskPower recently announced rates are going up, and in response, the Saskatchewan NDP wants to propose a piece of legislation called Lower Power Bills and Car Insurance Act. But NDP MLA Alina Young says the public will never know how it could help them because the government won't allow it to be introduced in the legislature.
The Sask Party government is blocking the introduction of a bill that we think is important and that we believe will speak to the very real affordability concerns being faced by the people of Saskatchewan.
The introduction of the bill follows SaskPower increasing its rate by 3.9%, along with SGI hiking its rate to 3.75% for 2026 and 2027. The NDP stating the rise will further impact people's cost of living.
They are diminishing the lived experience of all of these folks, whether it's $40 to $100 more on car insurance this year and then $40 to $100 more on car insurance next year.
Saskatchewan's minister responsible for SaskPower and SGI defends the rate changes, stating the reason for the hike was to support SGI's auto fund, which covers the cost for repairing damaged vehicles.
Where we are at right now, given the increase in cost of repair per vehicle and the pressure that's putting on the auto fund, is that we've had to make that rate application, which is the responsible thing to do.
Harrison says the rate increase was needed after a decade of not being adjusted.
Over the course of the last decade, where the auto fund was in a significant MCT position of surplus, and because of that, the recommendation had been to return at that point surplus funds in the auto fund to insured members who are a part of the program.
Adding, the rate increase for SGI will help support the auto fund in a viable long-term place. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
2 teens have been arrested after 3 BB-style long guns were found in a vehicle outside a Saskatchewan high school. Big talker yesterday. RCMP called to Greenall High School in Balgony late Wednesday over reports of a person with a firearm in a vehicle nearby. Police say the report came in from someone traveling on the highway. The school was placed in hold and secure. 2 male teens taken into custody and 3 BB guns seized. No one was hurt, and police say there's no safety risk to you, the public.
I recognize that this is a very scary experience for students, for teachers, and for parents. This situation was brought under control quickly and safely due to a quick report to police, Someone saw something and said something. The fast action of school administration and the immediate response of our police officers.
RCMP did confirm that as of Wednesday afternoon, no charges have been laid and the investigation is still in its early stages. No information on the suspects can be released due to the Youth Criminal Justice Act. A man who stole a work truck and caused police to go on a chase through Saskatoon got a 5-year prison sentence, Jeremy.
Yeah, Daryl, this is the man who stole a work truck and caused that chase. As you said, getting 5 years in prison. The pursuit happened last July. 33-year-old Kaz Dagno pleaded guilty to several charges, including robbery, dangerous driving while impaired, and aggravated assault of a police officer. Happened on July 9th when he robbed a convenience store, assaulted a taxi driver, and drove the cab into the store before fleeing. About an hour later, at Wiggins Avenue and Cascade Street, he stole a work truck, which he drove erratically through the city, ramming 2 police vehicles in the process. Officers eventually forced the vehicle off the road on Circle Drive near Valley Road. Dagno was sentenced at provincial court yesterday. With credit for time served, he'll have about 4 years left. The Ramey Modern Art Gallery due for some pricey maintenance. Less than 10 years after opening its doors, the Ramey needs to replace its boilers. The city reports says one of the vessels is leaking, and there are other signs of failures. Making matters worse is the manufacturers made the model obsolete, so replacement parts are not available. The Technical Safety Authority of Saskatchewan says without replacement, the boilers would need 24/7 supervision. So the city will look to spend about $1.5 million to replace them.
It's past time for these boilers. They need to be replaced, so we're going to replace them with something that's more suited to the environment that they have to run in, and that doesn't require that 24-hour supervision.
The boiler money will come from a reserve for the art gallery upgrades, and will use about a quarter of the money that Ramey Modern has paid into the fund over the years. Daryl, over to you for the latest from the Middle East.
Thank you, Jeremy. The United States and Israel launching more strikes on Iran and in Iran, targeting Israel and U.S. bases throughout the Middle East. Explosions lit up the sky over Tehran overnight as the fighting entered a 6th day. An Iranian government agency says at least 1,230 people, killed since the United States and Israel launched their attack on Saturday. After losing most of the community's homes to wildfire last summer, Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation's Denair Beach community has hit an important milestone for rebuilding. Jasmine Peltier on how the rebuild is progressing and what it means to community members.
Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation Chief Peter Beattie says that families who lost their homes to wildfire in Denair Beach will soon be able to return to new houses.
They'll be able to get back into their community and, try and start over again. because they lost everything when that fire went through.
The first of 24 new houses was shipped from Prince Albert to Denair Beach today. The Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation community in Denair Beach lost most of its 30 houses last summer to wildfire and is now rebuilding. The new homes, 18 of which are completed, are sitting at the Lake Country Co-op lot north of Prince Albert.
A lot of people have shown up here to tour their house, so to see that pride or that joy to see their future house, it means a lot to our team, our sub-trades. It's exciting for everybody.
The Lake Country Co-op began working on the houses in late fall 2025. Some of the new houses are wheelchair accessible with lower countertops and accessible bathrooms. The co-op says that the goal is to transport 2 houses weekly depending on weather conditions. The appliances will be installed once the houses are in place, and electrical and plumbing still need to be set up before the homes are move-in ready. Some community members haven't been able to stay in Denair Beach while the rebuild is ongoing.
A lot of them have lived there their whole lives. And, to be out of the communities, for one thing, it's traumatic. And on top of losing everything else.
Chief Beattie says he hopes to have the homes ready for residents to return this summer. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
On the weekend, coins became obsolete as a payment option to park downtown in Regina, but after residents voiced their displeasure, there is a possible solution. Donovan Mace reports.
Regina may have found its remedy for drivers, ensuring all payment options remain available to park downtown.
Our objective is to have this prepaid parking voucher at City Hall.
On Sunday, the city enacting a policy which eliminates coins as a way to pay for parking, and in December, council approving the removal of physical parking meters in favor of a fully app-based payment system.
I received a lot of feedback highlighting, I would say, a gap in the execution that we had planned in terms of eliminating the coin meters.
Available at City Hall, drivers would be able to purchase as many vouchers they need using cash or card at the same per-hour cost as the app.
How did this evolve to become a possible solution today?
This is a large change management process that's happening very quickly. And so other cities have done this, and they have implemented something like this, a paper copy or paper version with very low uptake.
Administration says removing the meters will save $220,000 in operational costs, adding the city may have had to spend millions more to replace them in the near future.
What do we have in place to kind of support that so they don't get a ticket while they're getting a voucher because they're unable to use the app to park?
That's something we will consider if this is approved. There's options with the City Hall laybys on either side of City Hall that we could look at that.
But in the meantime, the app remains the primary payment option for drivers.
The most convenient option moving forward is going to be the app. That's the reality. Again, this was a cost-saving decision, and obviously we had to fill that gap.
Administration intends to iron out details like the vouchers implementation and how they will be enforced by bylaws. The idea still requires final council approval at next week's meeting. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Let's talk curling. Draw 14 of the Montana's Brier. Manitoba and Braden Calvert taking on Magic Mike McEwen and Team Saskatchewan. Third end, Manitoba up 2-0, lying 3 without the hammer. Calvert trying to throw another log on the fire, but one of his sweepers touches the rock with their broom. Oh, this is all the talk of curling. There's touches everywhere. Rock has to be removed from play. Saskatchewan would score 1 in the end. 8th end, Manitoba up 6-4, lying 2 with the hammer and a tough shot here to score 3. Angle raise is a thing of beauty. They shake hands from there. Magic Mike loses just for the second time. 9-4. The final. Let's turn our attention to the weather picture, Kayleen. They need some sunshine on the Swift Current area to get those roads back up and normal.
Unfortunately, we're not talking about the sunshine today. We are talking about temperatures that are pretty similar down towards the south compared to what we have been seeing in the past few days. That is still below the seasonal average. Roads have actually gotten better on the Trans-Canada Highway, and I say that with a little bit of skepticism, but at least we don't have any more closures on the Trans-Canada. Just a lot of travel not recommended around Swift Current. check that highway hotline before you head out the door. In Regina right now, -13, a few flakes still in the area, winds coming in at 19 kilometers per hour. Similar winds in Saskatoon, although you can see those flakes on the camera here right now. -13, make sure you are driving carefully out there. Let's take a look at that radar and satellite and see how the system came in overnight and into early this morning. It came in pretty similar to what we had predicted yesterday, so this shouldn't have been a surprise for anybody, but again, you have to take care out there this morning, and we are continuing on to see some of those flakes still. This is current right now on your screen. Areas between Saskatoon and Regina still seeing some of that snow, around the Parkland region as well. Still seeing that snow around Yorkton into the mid-afternoon. Yorkton is actually where we're expecting to see the most of that snow falling today. And then into the overnight hours, we see another piece of this system making its way up from the United States, impacting areas around Estevan. Looking forward to Friday, we're talking about some more snow coming in from Alberta. That's going to be impacting areas around Prince Albert tomorrow afternoon. And then into Saturday morning, we see a larger system coming in, impacting mainly northern Saskatchewan with some rain and snow. Now, by about 1:30 a.m., Yorkton expecting to see about 8 more centimeters of snow, about 1 centimeter for Moose Jaw and Regina, and about 2 centimeters expected right now for areas around Estevan. We talked about temperatures down in the south being pretty similar to what we have been seeing recently, but in central Saskatchewan, we're seeing a lot of improvements and a lot of improvement up in northern Saskatchewan as well. We no longer have any of those cold warnings in effect, although, again, these temperatures are below the seasonal average. 7-day forecast looking like we are taking a look at a warm up on the way. -3 for Regina tomorrow, 5 degrees though on Saturday, so a nice day expected. 4 degrees on Sunday, some mixed precipitation on the way for Regina. -1 on Monday and -3 on Tuesday, some more snow on the way. In Saskatoon, 0 degrees tomorrow, up to 6 degrees on Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud. A low chance of seeing a few of those flurries that we were just looking at on the radar for Saturday. 2 degrees on Sunday with some snow on the way, and -4 on Monday, again expecting some flurries.
This day in history, March 5th, 2003, Canada recorded its first death from a new virus known as SARS. March 5th, 2012, Canada closed its embassy in Damascus due to escalating violence in Syria. March 5th, 1982, Canada's Steve Probusky became the first non-European to win the World Cup season title in downhill skiing. And
it's not too late.
On this day in 2002, the Osbournes debuted on MTV. The network paid each family member $20 million, paid all their expenses, and built a new home for them. It ran until 2005. And
there's a lady shoe, all that glitters is gold, and she's buying the stairway to heaven.
And March 5th, 1971, Led Zeppelin performed at Ulster Hall in Belfast, Ireland. It was the first time they performed Stairway to Heaven, which was never released as a single, by the way, and still one of the most recognizable rock songs of all time.
In case you missed it, some co-op managers making good on their promise to take a pie in the face as part of a Telemiracle fundraising event.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, that's no plate of whipped cream. That's a pie. Central Plains Co-op in Rosetown. They set some fundraising milestones that, if met, managers promised to take a pie in the face. The goal of $1,300 was blown away with more than $7,700 taken in for Telemiracle. 1,384 of those helping hands at that store.
Got him good.
President Brian Watson got to get the last one there. Very nice.
So this was all for a great cause, obviously. Daryl, what would it take for you to let me shove a pie in your face?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I think you
come
just...
on.
Name your price.
I don't think she would listen to your price anyway. I think she would just...
TV.
Exactly. I think she would just do it.
Viewers would love it.
Be right back. I gotta go get a pie.
That's all it is.
Oh, shout out to Rosetown. That was my mom's hometown. I love that town. Let's get to our question of the day. had I known, I would have pulled video of the Indianapolis Colts mascot who likes to run around and pie people in the face.
Ah, yes.
It's a trend that they've
Gritty
got.
does that too, and it's he does it so hard. It looks
like
painful.
It hurts. It does.
I don't like it.
Who's your favorite mascot is our question of the day today, and these are what is filling up our inbox.
Yeah.
Oh, the A&W Root Bear.
Yeah, Root Bear.
There you go.
That's a good
Root
one.
Beer Bear. Coming in from
It's called the Root Bear.
Lori.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you have to explain the Montreal Expos one to me, because that one, but that one came in a few times. I don't know who it is. What's so great about him?
Yuppie had some character. Yuppie was gritty before Gritty was gritty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, totally.
All right.
Back in 1990, 94, 95, 96.
Yeah.
Blaine from Lumsden saying the San Diego Chicken, Crazy George. Tom also liking Yuppie.
There you go. Pour les Expo.
Best mascot is K9.
K9.
I have to agree with that one
Dogs
too.
with
I do
jobs.
like K9. Yeah.
I was a big fan of Gainer. The Gopher, of course, coming in from Heather.
Yeah. Another one, Tyrone.
Oh, no. Tyrone, no.
Edmonton
No.
Oilers.
No. Hunter eats children's dreams. That is the scariest mascot I've ever
Hunter's
seen.
look.
Do you?
I like it.
Oh.
I don't
Seems
get
like you might be
why
alone.
it's the Oilers mascot.
Yeah, right.
What a bobcat has to do with it, but still,
That's
I think it's a cool looking cat.
Hey, at least this one raises a good money.
Yeah. Carlton the Bear.
Tell a miracle.
Yeah. And then, of course, we had Derby D Duck, Lumsden Duck Derby every Labor Day.
Man, coming up quick before you know it. Let's get over to a quick timeout, and we will have health news on the other side.
March is Problem Gambling Awareness Month across the country, and new numbers are shedding light on problem gambling in Saskatchewan. As Carla Shinkaruk tells us, new trends with online betting are noticeable in the data across the country.
While more things have moved online since the pandemic, that's also the case with gambling.
Since the introduction of online gambling and wide open sports, online sports gambling is now much more prominent.
That's contributing to the overall higher numbers of people gambling. Nigel Turner specializes in mental health and addictions and says 20 years ago, the average age of gamblers was 55, but new marketing targets younger people.
They wanted online gambling because, again, it can appeal to a younger audience.
Stats show that 7% of Saskatchewan residents reported gambling online in the past year, and men 18 to 34 are most likely to bet on sports online weekly.
And the percentage of younger people who are calling the helpline has skyrocketed.
The helpline has received more than 4,000 calls over the past 5 years. According to Mobile Crisis, which operates the helpline, there's been a small but measurable uptick in calls since the pandemic. Also, recent data shows VLTs and instant scratch tickets remain the leading activities associated with moderate risk and problem gambling. The crisis line is funded by Lotteries and Gaming Saskatchewan, or LGS.
The crisis line, it's a red flag waving. So what's causing that red flag to wave? And then how can we address some of the underlying issues that are causing people to feel that they need the crisis line?
The LGS also funds research into awareness and addictions programs. The Western Canada Lottery Corporation says it will be introducing more responsible gaming safeguards on legal sites like Play Now.
The new digital platform is going to include even more features that allow people to set their own limits when it comes to spending and time spent, as well as check in with themselves.
Officials warn illegal gambling sites may use aggressive marketing tactics and lack the responsible protections mandated in Saskatchewan. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
Wild People Quiet is the latest novel from celebrated Métis author Tara Giroux, and she joins us from Regina. Thank you so much for spending a little time with us.
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
So, first of all, Wild People Quiet, it's a very interesting title. What does that stand? I shouldn't say what does it stand for, but what can we take away from that title that leads us into the novel?
It's actually taken a from a quote by John A. MacDonald when he was sending out some of his men to negotiate the terms of the Prairie Land into Confederation. He sent them out to speak with Louis Riel, and he was speaking of his men, and he said it's going to take considerable effort for his men to keep those wild people quiet.
Okay, a very interesting and a resonating title there. In broad strokes, what's your book about?
So it's about a woman who makes the life-altering decision to hide her Métis identity while living in a small prairie town in the 1940s, Saskatchewan.
So is this something that you've experienced in your own family, or is this something you just know people who had done this? Because I think certainly many of us know people who hid away their Indigenous background because of the way society treated Indigenous people.
Absolutely, yeah. And this is inspired by my family's history. Growing up, I was always told we were Métis because my grandfather was Métis, but we were always told to keep it quiet. My grandfather didn't talk about it. He didn't want us to talk about it either, so it was always kept hidden and quiet. And so I was always curious about it. And when I became an adult and started to learn about and explore my Métis background and history and reconnect with the culture, I just became even more curious about my grandfather's decision and some of the factors that may have contributed to it.
And I'm just kind of curious, it's set in a fictional town called Tudorval. Is it an amalgam of places, or is there a soupçon of an actual town there?
I created a fictional town just because I wanted to be free from, a lot of people are still living today who, had these experiences, and so I didn't want to base it on anyone's particular story or have those facts kind of inhibit the exploration of the emotional truths that I was exploring.
Fair enough. We're just out of time right now, Tara, so thank you so much. Tara Giroux, she is the author of Wild People Quiet. It is available now, so thank you so much for taking time for us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
8:30, welcome back to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl. Here's what's making news. After focusing on the death of one individual on day 3 of the Dylan Whitehawk murder trial, they centered around the death of the second individual. Mick Favel was in the courtroom.
On day 3 of the double murder trial of Dylan Whitehawk, jurors learned some of the details surrounding the death of Keenan Toto. Whitehawk is facing 2 first-degree murder charges in the deaths of Toto and Jordan Denton back in 2019. A witness who cannot be identified due to a publication ban said they were with Toto in the early morning of December 1st, saying the pair was drinking at a home on Dewdney Avenue and decided to walk to a convenience store on Pasqua Street. At 3 a.m., the two were walking on the 1200 block of Queen Street when a car pulled up. The witness testifying Toto walked near the vehicle when he was shot by someone inside, adding Toto fell to the ground while the car in question drove off. Video footage from a home on the street was played in court showing the shooting. 911 calls made by people living on the block who heard the gunshot were also present in court. These callers also shared their testimonies about what they witnessed. The owner of the vehicle used in the crime also took the stand, saying the car was stolen the same night of the shooting and they were not involved. One witness was emotional, testifying Toto was like his best friend, and on the night of the shooting there were no signs that danger was near. The trial continues here at Court of King's Bench on Thursday. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatoon Police Service is working to recruit more women, part of a broader push to close the gender gap in careers traditionally dominated by men, and comes as International Women's Day is on Sunday. Laura Woodward reports.
Some people were born to give more of themselves.
The government of Saskatchewan has launched a national recruitment campaign trying to convince Canadians to move here and work in policing. Saskatoon's police chief says he wants the force to better reflect the community it serves.
While we don't have a complement of women in police that equal the number of women in our community by percentage, we're definitely focused on identifying women who would be great at policing and trying to get them to come to our service. They do provide a uniqueness that I think was not there historically. Women think a little bit differently, and often they challenge our men to see things in a different and often better way.
The push to attract more women extends beyond policing. Saskatchewan Polytechnic is also working to get more women into skilled trades, another field where they remain underrepresented. Data from Statistics Canada shows women make up a small share of certified trade workers across the country. Brandy McTavish says she's seen progress since she started training as a heavy-duty equipment technician, a trade with one of the lowest rates of women.
I have the opportunity to be a mentor and a role model, and that's something that I didn't have. I had a lot of great male mentors, but it's different when somebody's actually walked in those shoes.
Laurel Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The South Saskatchewan Independent Living Centre is celebrating 35 years in Regina, holding a birthday party to recognize that milestone. If you've never heard of them before, the organization works with people who have a disability, assisting them with employment and entrepreneurship goals, as well as the business of daily living. The South Saskatchewan Independent Living Centre also provides supports for people who have a cognitive disability, allowing them to stay in their own home. The group receives funding from all three levels of government, allowing them to help hundreds of clients each year.
This is a celebration. We're celebrating diversity, inclusion, unique people, people who have a drive, who want to get out there in the world and make a difference. And that's a perfect thing to celebrate.
The centre estimates they have provided assistance to nearly 10,000 people over 35 years. A new survey is showing strong support for the arts in Saskatchewan. The survey, conducted by Saskatoon-based research firm Insightrix on behalf of the Saskatchewan Arts Alliance, showed around 3/4 of respondents believe arts and culture are important to life in Saskatchewan, but more than 8 in 10 surveyed said affordability limits their ability to engage in the arts, whether that be concerts, theater shows, or visits to art galleries. The power of social media has reunited two long-lost friends from opposite sides of the globe. Jacob Carr has their story.
Back in 1996, both Kirsten Fleming, formerly from Regina, and Naomi Uchibayashi from Japan took part in the Regina Fujioka Student Exchange Program and became friends. Fast forward to this year, when Fleming was recently in Japan for the Tokyo Marathon and had a thought to try and track down her old friend. A couple of Instagram posts later and some help from the program, Fleming had found her.
Someone in the program went to her high school, and the principal of that high school was like, "Oh, I know where her mom lives," and went and knocked on her mother's door and just said, "Your exchange student from 1996 is here and wants to see you."
Fleming says she got up early Saturday morning in Tokyo and hopped on a train to Fujioka to be reunited with Uchibayashi.
I can't believe it. It was very surreal and really overwhelming. I was just like shaking, and I got there and there were so many people and everybody had their phone out, and they had like people from City Hall, Fujioka were there, and people who had been through the program after me.
Gilbert Proul, who currently works with the program and took part in it as a student in 1999, says Fleming's story is not only about the positive power of social media, but also the lasting connections that the exchange program creates.
I thought it was an incredible story to share about what this program can do for people, and even for myself too, because I went years without any connection with my student, but now we've reconnected over Facebook in the last decade.
As for what's next for the rekindled friendship, Fleming says she is hopeful Uchibayashi and her family will soon make a trip to Calgary to hit the slopes.
We've been communicating a lot and exchanging pictures and comments, and we're hoping that they maybe come and visit us and come skiing one of these years because they really love to ski, and we live in a ski town, so let's have them.
From 3 decades of no contact to 2 peas in a pod once again, all thanks to the power of social media. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Pen pals, all these years later.
Yeah, I love stories like that.
All right, well, what's going on in the weather story? Is it as pretty as that one was?
Well, not quite. We've been talking about some snow this morning, some freezing rain and some just plain old regular rain down in the southwest corner of the province around Swift Current. It does look like things are improving slightly on the Trans-Canada Highway. We're not seeing any more of those closures, but there are still some areas where travel is not recommended around Swift Current this morning. So check that highway hotline. Those conditions are ever changing, as we know. This morning view is brought to you by Affinity Wealth Management. We know investing. In Regina right now, we're at minus 13 still. Some flakes in the area. Winds coming in at 19 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, again, seeing some of those flurries to start your day. Minus 13 right now. Winds pretty calm, coming in at 20 kilometers per hour. Let's take a look at that radar and satellite because you can see where that system came in from the United States there through the southwest corner with the freezing rain and rain. The snow now falling in areas around Regina and Saskatoon. It's going to be making its way over to the Parkland region where we'll be seeing most of that snow falling into the afternoon hours. Minus 23 to wake us up in Stony Rapids. That is quite a significant improvement from what we were seeing yesterday at this time. It was around minus 40. The cold warnings in the north have lifted, thankfully. Minus 19 in La Ronge, minus 17 in Nipawin, minus 16 right now in Melfort, down towards the south, seeing more of that blue color in the southwest corner, minus 3 in East End, minus 7 in Swift Current, and minus 10 in Assiniboia. Cooler through Yorkton, minus 16 this hour. Later on this afternoon, we'll be seeing temperatures pretty similar to what we have been seeing in the past couple days down towards the south. However, through northern and central Saskatchewan, seeing an improvement with those temperatures, although it is still below the seasonal average. Minus 7 for the Battlefords, minus 8 this afternoon for Saskatoon, minus 9 for Regina, minus 9 for Estevan, and minus 5 expected in Swift Current. Let's take a look at how much snow is expected. This is now by about 2 a.m. Yorkton will have seen 10 more centimeters of snow on the ground. Estevan expecting about 4 centimeters of snow. Regina and Moose Jaw expecting about 1 centimeter. Saskatoon not expecting a full centimeter of snow, but we'll still be seeing just a few of those flakes to start your day here. Regina getting warmer tomorrow, minus 5 degrees on Saturday. So we're getting back up into those positive temps for the weekend. 4 degrees on Sunday with some mixed precipitation. Snow continuing on for Monday and Tuesday as we drop back down for those temperatures. In Saskatoon, 0 degrees tomorrow, 6 degrees on Saturday. Mix of sun and cloud, and the snow returning for Sunday and Monday. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have an amazing fan base that helps to pump them up, but helping to pump those fans up is the Rider Pep Band. They're inviting the community to grab an instrument and join in on the fun at an upcoming open house and first rehearsal ahead of their 34th season. And we have some members, Rhonda and Maureen, here to tell us some more. Good morning, and thank you for your time.
Good morning. Good morning.
Glad to be here. Rhonda, I'm going to come over to you first. You are one of the original members. Yep. Tell me a bit of background about the Pep Band and your role in the community.
Okay, the Pep Band is the community ambassadors for the Rider organization and for our city and our province. We represent throughout Canada, and it's all about entertainment, having fun, putting a smile on people's faces, all of the above. That's what it's about. If you're a musician and love to play, we suggest you come try us out.
And it's a whole lot of fun. I can attest to that as somebody who has tried it out before. Maureen, over to you. You have gotten pretty creative on social media trying to recruit some new faces. Tell me about that recruitment process and the upcoming open house.
Okay, well, yes, our open house is coming up on March 15th, 1:30 p.m. at Fly Fitness and Aerial Arts. We haven't been there before, so that part's going to be fun. I've been just trying to do things that are fun, catch people's attention. Social media is a tricky thing to keep people's attention, so I've tried my upside down shoulder stands and playing my piccolo. That seemed to get people's attention. They like that one. And just a few other, just telling them about us and where we play and that we're a community group. We play at seniors' homes. We play in parades. We play at other sporting event type things like curling, and we've played at some hockey. We've played at Red Sox games, and it's fun. It's great. And anyone who's playing music, you don't have to be the biggest football fan to come join us, but you will be once you start, because it's just such a community. The Rough Rider community, the pep band community.
Absolutely. It's one of the best communities that I am thankful to be a part of. Yeah. Rhonda, over to you. Let's talk about who you're looking for this open house, different instruments, ages of the musicians.
Okay, people need to have at least graduated high school or graduating in June. All instruments from the piccolo to the clarinet, saxophones, trumpets, trombones, baritones, tubas, and percussion. So any band instrument, if you've got a good handle on your instrument, come out and try us out. You might find the music easy, you might find it a little more difficult, but we're pretty flexible, and it's just about playing music and having fun and entertaining people across the province, because we have members across the province. So if you're up in Saskatoon or PA or Melliford or Yorkton, wherever, come on down and try us out.
I love that. It is a whole province initiative. Yep. Maureen, in our last 30 seconds, any words of advice for people coming to try out?
Don't be afraid. Just bring your instruments. Come on out. We'll have some music there for you, and we just want you to come and try us out. Once you're part of this group, it's hard to leave. It's so great. I've made friends there. We've danced. We'd like to make music, and even the Rider family days, we have little kids come out, and you can be part of all of that.
All right, join the fun, pick up your instrument, and go try on out for the Rider Pet Band. Thank you both so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Time to head back to the Glassy Gardener one final time this morning and check in with Janelle Lipai.
Good morning. We are finishing up our demonstration here today. Kate is back with me now. Kate, you're showing us a little bit about grinding this time.
Yeah, so when you're working on a stained glass piece, I showed the cutting earlier, you are left with a lot of really sharp, kind of jagged edges when you're cutting stained glass. So what we want to do to kind of finish it is use a glass grinder. So I can just show you how that
give
works
us a little demo.
Yeah, so it might be a little bit loud, but basically you're just going to pass back and forth over the edges of your piece that you're using. I tend to dry it in between, but then it leaves it nice and roughed up, so it's safe to touch. You're not going to cut yourself there, at least. Yep. But yeah, so once you have done that to an entire piece of glass, there's our movie magic. This one's already done. Then you have to do what is called like applying copper foil, or the copper foil method. So basically you take this sticky metal tape and you have to wrap your entire glass piece with this foil. So we'll just kind of quickly do that. Yeah. And then once you wrap each of your pieces with foil, you do what's called soldering. So it's basically like a pretty version of welding. There we go. That was pretty fast.
Yeah.
So you wrap it and then you fold it over and then you use what's called a burnisher to smooth it all out. And then once all of your pieces are covered in foil, you then solder them together. And so this piece is all soldered. So anywhere where you see the silvery metal lines, that is used, that's solder on those spots. So basically the metal will stick to the metal, and then you've got your puzzle all put back together.
All right, well, once again, that does wrap up our morning here together. But if you are interested in classes or a little bit more information, you can click that link that's popping up on your screen.
Dreaming of an unforgettable adventure? Indulge in the magic of Hong Kong. Enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Enter online at ctvregina.ca or ctvsaskatoon.ca. Scan the QR code on your screen, and good luck.
Does it ever drive you crazy? Just how fast the night changes.
This morning, Harry Styles speaking out about the death of his friend and former bandmate Liam Payne for the very first time on camera.
It's so difficult to lose a friend who is so like you in so many ways.
The 32-year-old singer who's out promoting his 4th solo studio album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally, admitting in the sweeping interview that he had a difficult time sharing his grief following Payne's very public death in October 2024 at the age of 31.
I have such strong feelings around my friend passing away. And then suddenly being, aware of there's maybe a desire from other people of you to convey that in some way. Or it means you're not feeling what you're feeling or something,
Payne fell from a 3rd-floor hotel balcony in Buenos Aires, Argentina, following a long public battle with drugs and alcohol. Styles and Payne met in 2010 while competing as solo contestants on the X Factor UK.
I like you, Harry. I'm going to say yes. You've definitely got it, whatever it is that you've got it.
Thank you, Chef. Eventually, they were paired with Niall Horan, Louis Tomlinson, and Zayn Malik to form the group One Direction.
Nobody can drag me down.
The group would go on to sell over 50 million records and fill up stadiums around the world. But the band broke up in 2015, and while they all went on solo careers, there hasn't been an official band reunion. The remaining 4 members coming together publicly for the first time for Payne's memorial. Styles confessing that Payne's death made him look at his own life differently.
It was a really important moment for me in terms of taking a look at my life and being able to say to myself, how do I want to live my life? And I think the greatest way you can honor your friends who pass away is by living your life to the fullest.
It was back in 1973 that a future NBA legend would launch his basketball career running circles around the competition.
Yeah, and now he's proving he's still a force on that court with an annual tradition that he's even completing at 70 years old. Here's ABC's Danny New.
All right, birthday dunk. 70 years old. This is the last one.
A tradition unlike any other, maybe for the final time.
Here we go.
NBA legend Marcus Johnson, at 70 years old, has once again slammed in his annual birthday dunk.
How did it feel at 70? It's getting a little harder. Let's go!
The 5-time All-Star has been posterizing Father Time every year for well over a decade now, but with him suggesting this time may be it, one commenter writes, "Bruh, I've been watching these for 12 years. Please, not the last one."
I never really know exactly how much vertical lift I'm going to have.
We walk through the city looking heavy and bold.
Now, after this year's birthday jam, the LA native immediately started singing a cheer from his alma mater, Crenshaw High School, which he actually just wrote a book on called The Crenshaw Chronicles.
Marcus Johnson getting across. 3, 2, 1.
After high school, Johnson stayed local at UCLA, where he helped legendary coach John Wooden win his 10th and final championship in 1975. In fact, 2 seasons later, the dunk became a big reason why Johnson would win the first ever Wooden Award for the National Player of the Year.
To be able to win that first award named after him, one of the most special moments in my life.
Marcus Johnson.
Of course, the 6'7" forward rocked the rim plenty in the NBA, mainly with the Milwaukee Bucks, where he now serves as a color commentator for its local broadcasts. But as far as annual throwdowns go, does Marcus Johnson really think he's done giving these a whirl?
Who knows? I may try and do it again next year, but it's going to at least keep me working out every day and taking care of myself.
All right, so we'll see. Marcus says some years he didn't think he could do it, and then his son Josiah would say, "Come on, Dad, you got one more in you." How do you say no to that? In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
I think that's impressive. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep the tradition alive.
I hope it's not the last one.
Do it till it's no longer possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Obviously, spreading some cheer, like these guys in our sidebar. Mullet madness is taking over Barrie, Ontario.
Oh boy.
All right, if we're going to do mullets, let's do that. All right. All right.
In the city are calling on mullet warriors to sign up and get a haircut for a good cause. The cause is a youth center called Cody's House, and donations will help expand programs for young people in the area, so everybody's going in and they're getting their mullet on.
I love this. Absolutely love it.
The only thing better than this, if you've seen it, is the Minnesota High School Hockey Tournament is on right now, the state championships. And those boys do introductions, and they come to the blue line one by one, and they all have fantastic hair. Look it up. It's available anywhere, YouTube, whatever.
Fantastic.
I don't have the rights to show it to you, but it is.
Jeremy, I think you could cut your hair into a mullet.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think. Did you have one?
Oh,
I
yeah.
never had one.
It'd be close. I never did. I could. I'm getting pretty long at the back. I just need to create the party in the front, and we're good to go.
Okay, I'm going to look forward to that. Hopefully, crossing my fingers that we get mullet Jeremy by the end of 2026.
That's my only Christmas wish.
Well, we'll see.
It's my only Christmas wish.
Okay, I will. Let's move on to this. A baby spider monkey born in Connecticut is in need of a name. Officials at the Beardsley Zoo have just announced that its newest black-handed spider monkey is a girl. And to celebrate, the zoo is asking the public to help pick her name. The potential names so far: Esperanza, which means hope; Mirabelle, which translates to wonderful; and Reina, which means queen. Voting closes today, and the winner will be announced tomorrow.
Well, congratulations to whatever this monkey's handle ends up being. I don't think we need to remind Jeremy of the mullet. I think we need to remind Jeremy's hairdresser of the mullet.
Yes. And where do you get your hair done, Jeremy?
No comment. No comment.
See you tomorrow.
I'm not afraid.